All right, so I'm starting out with a brand new stamp set from Tim Holtz. It's called Tidbit CMS 488. If you're interested, I will try to find the link and put it below. It's brand new, so I'm rubbing my skin on it, and this is supposed to help the ink stick to the stamp a little bit better. So I'm not crazy, I've saw other people do this too. I'm using archival ink in the color Coffee, and I'm simply rubbing it over the stamp, the entire thing, hoping that I am getting every little nook and cranny, every little tidbit covered. And then I'm going to take a piece of ivory cardstock, and I'll even put a link for this below too. I got it on Amazon. So I'm just going to try to line that up the best I can, so it's, you know, not diagonal or anything. And then I'm just going to kind of smash that down, trying to get the ink transferred to the paper as evenly as I can, hoping that I'm getting every one of those little stamps that's underneath. And I think it turned out really good. It looks almost perfect, actually. So of course we have a little less than half the page that's still blank, so I'm covering half of the stamp back up with ink again, and then I'm just going to try to cover the part of the paper that was left blank in the first go. Same thing, I'm just smashing it down, trying to get all the ink transferred to the paper as evenly as I can. And then whatever is left on the stamp, I'm going to go around those margins that are blank, just with whatever's left, and just kind of get a light something there so it's just not so plain. Okay, so I've got my cutter out, and I am just cutting this paper into strips. I'm not measuring it. I'm just kind of thinking, how wide do I want my tags to be, and I'm cutting. So not measuring at all. And then I'm going to take these strips and cut them into either 2 pieces or 3 pieces, depending on the width of the strip that I cut previously. So most of these I think I'm just cutting in half. So each of these halves will be either a little card or a little tag. This one I'm cutting into thirds because I figured it would make some cute little tiny tags. Then I've made this little template out of cardboard. I've seen other creators that have made one out of, say, like a credit card or a gift card. And you just cut the corners off, you know, different, I don't know what you call it. Some of them are large, some of them are small. So kind of depending on what size of tag you are working on, you have different options. And it's just kind of like training wheels. So it's easier to cut them this way if you have like a little template. So I'm just going to cut a few of these on camera, then I'll do some off camera as well. So you don't have to watch me do all of them, because there are, I mean, we got quite a few tags out of just one sheet of paper. I'm pretty impressed. Pretty cool. All right. So on these little ones, I thought maybe we would just round the corners. So I'm just using my corner rounder, and, you know, because they don't all have to be tag shaped. We can make some with just rounded corners. You know, mix it up a little bit. We don't want all of our tags to look the same. Okay, so now I've got a piece of junk mail, and I'm going to make some hole reinforcers with this red. I just thought, why not? Why not recycle some of this? And I thought it would be fun to put red hole reinforcers on some of these tags. Just, you know, like I said, you don't want them all to look the same, so I'm just kind of mixing it up a little bit. So on this one, I'm using a 1/2 inch circle. So that was the size of the circles I'm using here. And then I've used a small hole punch to punch the circle. You can probably see that's smaller than the normal hole punch you normally see. So I just thought, you know, make them with smaller holes. I can use smaller string. I'm just using these tags as fillers. So, you know, usually you have a pretty pocket and you have a cool tag that you spend a lot of time on, but there's more room in the pocket. You want to stuff a couple more things in it. That's kind of what these are for. So I know this isn't groundbreaking, but I just thought it was a good idea, so I thought I would just share it with you. So, you know, it's pretty fast and yeah, fun to make some extra little bits to go in your journals. So this circle I'm doing now is the 3/4 inch circle. And I'm just gluing these on with Elmer's glue. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just plain old Elmer's glue will do the trick. Now I'm punching a couple of hole reinforcers out of not cardstock. Well, yeah, it is cardstock, craft cardstock. I just thought we'd do a couple of brown ones as well. I mean, of course, these match the tag a lot better than the red ones, but you never know when you need a little pop of red on your page, right? So yeah, I'm just going to do a couple of these with the brown. And then I'm going to cut a little strip of this craft paper. Just cut a little strip of it off, and then I'm going to just fold it over the top of a couple of these tags, just so there's something different. So like I said, they don't all look the same. So I'm just folding it in half, and then I'm going to round the corners just with my scissors really quick. It's not perfect, but yeah, just rounding them up a little bit. And then I'm going to ink them with Scorched Timber Distress ink, just to add a little color to the edges. And then I'm just going to put a little glue on the inside of it and pop it on the top of the tag. And then we'll just sit that aside to dry. But see, you can make your tags look different just by adding something different to the top. It's kind of fun to play around and see the different looks you can come up with. Now I'm using Scorched Timber. Excuse me, this is Walnut Stain Distress ink. And I'm just going around the edges of the tags to distress them and make them look a little bit more aged and more worn, and you know the look we're going for. And in some cases I've even taken the dauber and kind of went across some of the tag itself just to kind of grunge it up a little bit more. So yep, I'm just going to go ahead and ink around the edges of these and bring them to life. So you could totally do this project. You don't have to have a brand new stamp set. You can have one that you've used, you know, and you can even stamp the individual stamps one at a time. You know, I just thought this is brand new stamp set and it would be perfect for this. It would save a lot of time because, you know, everything is all together. I can do it all in one go. And I really like the way it turned out. So, yeah, I hope you like this idea. So I'm just tying a little bit of string around the top of this tag. I just poked it through, and then I'm just kind of doing a little loop knot, cinching it down, and there you go. That tag is done. And we'll do one of the red ones too. So I'm just punching the hole, because of course the actual tag didn't have a hole in it yet, so I just kind of went through the hole reinforcer and punched the hole there. And now I'm using a bit of black and white baker's twine, and this string is a lot thinner than the one I used on the other tag. Just wanted to kind of show you some different options, some different looks that you can get. And I will get one that we just wrap the top around with that piece of craft paper, and I'm using a bigger hole punch on this one. And I'm going to go ahead and use the white string like we used on the first tag that I tied. And this one I'm folding it in half, and then I'm poking that the folded string through the back of the tag, and then bringing that loop around and then pulling those two ends of the string through it, and then just kind of cinching it down. So that's another way you can do it as well. So I hope you like this. Please leave me comments. I love to hear what you say, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.